All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back. There's a quiet shift happening with Samsung's next FE phone, and it's not the kind you notice from a spec sheet. It's the kind that slowly changes how these phones feel day to day. And more importantly, it starts blurring a line Samsung has carefully kept in place for years. Let's get into it. So the Galaxy S26 FE shows up, same story on the surface. Fan edition, flagship feel, a few compromises. But then you look closer, and things don't quite line up the way you expect. It's running the Exynos 2500. That alone isn't surprising. What is surprising is how it performs. Early numbers suggest it's actually pushing ahead compared to other devices using the same chip. Not by a crazy margin, but enough to notice. And that tells you something important. This isn't about the processor anymore. It's about how the phone is built around it. Samsung seems to have given this device better thermal headroom, slightly bigger frame, better heat management, and that translates into performance that holds steady instead of dropping off. In real use, that matters way more than peak numbers. You end up with a phone that feels consistently fast, not just fast for a few minutes. Now here's where it starts to get more subtle. The display looks familiar. 6.7-inch OLED, 120 Hz, nothing new on paper. But there are signs Samsung might be sourcing panels differently this time. And that doesn't mean worse quality, it just means a slightly different tuning. Colors, brightness, behavior, even how the panel ages over time. Small things, but they add up if you pay attention. Most people won't notice, but it's one of those decisions that shows where Samsung is optimizing behind the scenes. The cameras follow that same pattern. No big jump, no headline feature, just a setup that's known to work. And honestly, that says a lot. Instead of chasing upgrades, Samsung is focusing on consistency. You're getting something dependable, not something experimental. And that ties into a bigger shift. This phone isn't trying to impress you in one area. It's trying to remove reasons for you to complain in any area. Even the battery plays into that. It's not pushing limits, but it's enough to get through your day comfortably. Charging is fast enough. Nothing stands out, but nothing holds you back either. Quick side note, this is exactly where people start getting lost in specs instead of thinking about actual usage. That's why tools like Wolver are becoming useful for a lot of users. They help you figure out what actually matters based on how you use your phone, instead of just comparing numbers that don't always translate into real-world differences. And once you look at the S26 FE through that lens, the bigger picture becomes clear. If this phone delivers stable performance, solid display quality, reliable cameras, and good battery life, then what's really separating it from Samsung's main flagship lineup? That gap used to be obvious. Now it's not. And that's where things get interesting, because Samsung can't let that gap fully disappear. So instead of big differences, we're starting to see smaller, more controlled ones. Things most people won't question, but still shape the overall experience. Before we go further, quick one. Most of you watching aren't subscribed. If you're into this kind of breakdown where we focus on the details that actually matter, you already know this is your space. Hit subscribe and be part of it. Because at the end of the day, the S26 FE isn't just another upgrade. It's a signal. A signal that Samsung is getting more confident about how close it can bring its affordable flagship to the real thing without completely collapsing its own lineup. And if they keep pushing in this direction, how long before the FE stops feeling like the second choice? Take care and stay safe. I'll see you in the next one soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.